Hello, guys. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rico. Today, I want to talk about how to avoid conflicts in the Philippines. Spanish colonial influences, American cultural imports, and indigenous customs are all intricately woven together in the Philippines. A distinct social fabric that prioritizes indirect communication, respect for authority, and interpersonal harmony has been shaped by this fusion. With an emphasis on collaboration, friendship, and avoiding conflict, this fundamental Filipino value might be translated as getting along or maintaining smooth interpersonal relationships. You should make an effort to foster pakikisama by being amiable, approachable, and eager to engage in social activities. Relationship tension may result from turning down invites or coming across as distant. Shame, embarrassment, and a sense of social appropriateness are all included in this idea. It determines how people act both in public and privately. Hiya can show up as a strong desire to avoid embarrassment in public and a hesitancy to explicitly express disagreement or criticism. You should be careful not to make others say Hiya, because this can cause bitterness. For example, it can be quite disrespectful to publicly correct someone, even if done with the best of intentions. In general, Filipino society is hierarchical, and respect for superiors, elders, and other people in positions of power is highly valued. Frequently, formal titles, deference, and indirect communication are used to convey this regard. Respect is shown to elderly people, who are frequently referred to with honorific titles such as ati, older sister, or kuya, older brother. Even if you disagree with an elder's viewpoint, you should not treat them with contempt or dismissal. Respect for superiors is essential in the job. Before making important decisions, you should always obtain advice and approval from those in positions of authority. You should also refrain from directly opposing them. Expats should be courteous, patient, and respectful when dealing with government representatives. It is unlikely that expressing displeasure or impatience will speed up bureaucratic procedures, which can be drawn out and complicated. Filipinos usually communicate indirectly by using nonverbal cues, inferred meanings, and contextual awareness. Criticism is frequently delivered in a vague manner, and direct confrontation is generally avoided. Even a seemingly positive response may not necessarily indicate that you agree. To ensure mutual comprehension, it is necessary to detect nonverbal cues and ask questions. These responses typically indicate a respectful rejection instead of demanding a definitive solution. You should consider different options. Filipino communication is strongly reliant on body language, tone of voice, and facial emotions. You should notice these symptoms and adjust your communication approach accordingly. Maintaining eye contact, for example, is generally considered courteous, whereas harsh or prolonged eye contact may be perceived as aggressive. The phrase utang na loob means debt of gratitude. It expresses a strong sense of duty to people who have shown kindness or support. Recognize this cultural value and make an effort to return favors and kind deeds. Keeping good connections requires reciprocating favors and expressing gratitude. You should always thank people for their compassion and refrain from taking them for granted. Utang na loob has the power to establish enduring commitments, even for seemingly insignificant deeds of compassion. You should be aware of the consequences of accepting favors and be ready to return the favor when it is offered. Knowing the subtleties of the culture is just the beginning. In order to reduce conflict and promote harmonious relationships, you must also implement realistic strategies. Listen carefully to what people are saying, both out loud and in their body language. To be sure you understand, refrain from interrupting and ask clarifying questions. When voicing criticism or disagreement, use indirect communication techniques. Don't say something like, "You're wrong." Instead, say something like, "Perhaps we could consider," or "Maybe there's another way to." Highlight the positive and give support. Refrain from focusing on bad things or placing blame. Dealing with cultural differences requires patience and understanding. Refrain from judging or assuming anything based on your own cultural background. Acquiring a few simple Filipino phrases will help you communicate and show respect. Relationship development can be greatly aided by even small gestures of thanks and pleasantries. Participate in social events and gatherings to make connections with locals. Don't isolate yourself. Instead, attempt to connect with the community. Respect everyone, regardless of background or socioeconomic status. Avoid becoming patronizing or pompous. Filipinos emphasize modesty and humility. Do not brag or draw attention to yourself. Be polite and willing to share your knowledge, resources, and time. Seek advice on how to handle social situations and cultural norms from informed locals. Be mindful of hierarchical structures and respect the authority of superiors. Avoid gossiping or engaging in office politics. Be patient and flexible during business negotiations. Avoid being aggressive or confrontational. Clearly define expectations and responsibilities in rental agreements. Maintain open communication with your landlord and address any issues promptly. Be polite, patient, and respectful when dealing with government officials. Follow procedures carefully and seek assistance when needed. Be sensitive to religious and political beliefs. Avoid engaging in heated debates or making disparaging remarks. Conflicts can occur despite the best of intentions. You should make an effort to resolve disputes amicably and constructively. Instead of addressing issues in public, do so privately. Do not hear other people. Instead of launching personal assaults, center the conversation on the current problem. If required, enlist the aid of a reliable third party to resolve the dispute. If you have made a mistake, offer your heartfelt apologies and take action to make things right. Take advantage of the dispute to sharpen your communication skills and gain more knowledge about Filipino culture. If you are used to direct communication, indirectness can be misinterpreted as evasiveness or dishonesty. On the other hand, directness could be interpreted as impolite or confrontational by Filipinos. When it comes to time, Filipinos frequently approach time more flexibly, whereas in the West, time is essential. Therefore, when it comes to appointments and schedules, you should not be too strict. The standards for personal space can differ greatly here. You should be considerate of others' physical proximity and refrain from encroaching on their personal space. Another widespread custom in Filipino culture is presenting gifts. You should know the proper way to give gifts and refrain from offering excessively expensive or inappropriate presents. Family bonds are very strong in the Philippines, and family responsibilities frequently take precedence over other commitments. You ought to be considerate and understanding of obligations to their family. In the end, developing cultural awareness and empathy is necessary to prevent conflict in the Philippines. You should make an effort to comprehend Filipino viewpoints and beliefs, and you should approach conversations with an open mind and a desire to learn. Learn the language, sample the cuisine, and take part in cultural activities to fully immerse yourself in Filipino culture. Be receptive to fresh viewpoints and experiences. Refrain from generalizing or stereotyping Filipinos. Try to understand other people's thoughts and feelings by placing yourself in their shoes. The Philippines is a multicultural nation with a wide range of customs and civilizations. Honor and value this variety. Understanding other cultures is a continuous journey. Be open to learning and adjusting to the Philippines' constantly changing cultural scene. Adopting these ideas and strategies will help you handle the Philippines' cultural crossroads with understanding and grace, promoting goodwill and reducing conflict. You may provide a meaningful and engaging experience in their adoptive home by approaching the continuing process of cultural adaptation with humility, respect, and a genuine desire to connect. All right, guys, that is all for today's show. If you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good day.